Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Today is Monday and it's the beginning of new week, and we are in the second half of 2020 that for sure has been interesting, to say the least, for the whole humanity. There is not a single person on earth who has not been affected by this virus, this COVID-19, this a lot of people say challenging and crisis situation, right? We all have been affected by it. But on the other side, guys, that's the most interesting time, in the recent human history that our generation is living through. We as humanity get to redefine a lot of our values, a lot of ways we do things, how we organize our systems, be that food system or business or healthcare or travel or taking care of our environment, sustainability. We have to and get to redefine that again and rethink that again, because old ways are probably not going to work that well anymore in a lot of areas, if not all, of our human evolution, our human life. So if you are one of the lucky ones whose life has not been affected that much in a negative way, in a sad way, by maybe losing your loved ones or your job, or if you're among the lucky ones and you are finding it stressful and difficult, first of all, be grateful for how not severely you were affected personally, and also understand that it is quite an interesting time. And even though it might be challenging, it also the time of opportunity, because in every challenge there is an opportunity. And now we have this one in a lifetime kind of challenge. And for most of us, when we really look at it with unbiased eye, the eye that is not trying to get back to normal or the past, it is opportunity for us to look at our lives, our values, the way we do things, what we do, how we do it, and redefine again what it is important for us and how from now on we want to design our life, our relationships. So we have a second half of 2020. Let's make it different. Let's make it special. Let's make it something we are proud of. And on that note, guys, we are getting back to gut health. Over the weekend, I read this article, 6 immunity boosting ingredients gaining popularity during the pandemic, in Food Dive. It's a website all about food and relationship, food and, tag food and our planet, food and sustainability, food and our health. And in this article, there is an abstract that I'd like to share with you. During the pandemic, Lee said, there was a study conducted in China that looked at the gut microbiome, the diet and the immune system of people who had more serious COVID-19 symptoms versus less serious cases. The study found that people who had a milder form and were more protected from having serious illness also had more lactobacillus in their gut. Lactobacillus is one of those beneficial gut bacteria that we have a lot of in our gut. Well, healthy people do have a lot. We're still just figuring out this disease, but interestingly, even with COVID-19, we're beginning to find some important connections between gut health and our overall health, Lee said. So guys, more and more research and studies show, if not the causation, but correlation between our overall health, our immune system, our mental health, our performance, our happiness, our energy levels, and our gut microbiome. That a community of living organisms that are tiny, small, and we can't even see them, but they outnumber our human cells 10 to 1, and they influence every aspect of our being. And we are hosts to them, and how we treat them, how we treat that community defines what kind of health and life experience we have. So if you needed more motivation to take care of your gut today, guys, even COVID-19 seems to be affected by how much health you have in your gut. And speaking about gut health, our gut, over the weekend I also finished this book, Total Gut Balance. It's a recent book. It's written by the researcher who focuses on gut microbiome, or fungi in our gut microbiome. And fungi are only about 1% or less of our total, bacteria and all the organisms living in our gut. But that fungi seems to also have a big effect on our gut health and overall health, mostly through interaction with our bacteria, affecting them. They also have kind of like difficult relationships, sometimes helping each other, sometimes fighting each other, and they also might affect our health positively or negatively depending on that relationship between fungi and gut bacteria. So the book, Total Gut Balance, Fix Your Microbiome Fast for Complete Digestive Wellness. And so the book talks a lot about fungi, specifically naming the kind of fungi we have, like Candida, it's also fungi, and how they might affect our health in a negative or positive way, and what kind of relationship they have with gut bacteria. But then at the end, the practical part of this book focuses on our microbiome in totality, because you can't take it in separation. And usually the things that are good for our gut fungi and our gut bacteria, they are good for the whole thing. And the better those guys are, the better we are. And in this book, the researcher, his name is Mahmoud Hanoum, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. He advises a specific diet and lifestyle that, based on all these studies, they also have a lab that sequences DNA of gut microbiomes, and they also do a lot of studies on healthy microbiomes of healthy individuals or unhealthy individuals, and how to bring it into balance and how that's going to manifest in overall body health. So they did a lot of research. And in the book, and what I want to share with you, there is a specific diet that seemed to most positively affect our gut microbiome and our gut health and our overall health as a result. So diet and lifestyle. So let's dig deeper into details of that microbiome diet. And a lot of you guys, we already learned the last week, especially when we talked about probiotics, prebiotics, probiotics, and good fats for our gut microbiome, and resistant starch and all the bad guys. So we talked a lot about all of these things, and you'll find a lot of similarities with the book. So right now we're going to talk what the advice in the book when it comes to diet and lifestyle beneficial to our gut microbiome. See what you can do even better. I made a few notes for myself of what I can do better, like eating more resistant starch, or combining food well, or not eating too much fruit, not getting carried away, because that can feed sugar-loving fungi in our gut, like Candida. That is not necessarily a good thing. Or not eating too much animal protein, not animal protein, but animal saturated fat. That I'm not eating a lot, but just reconfirm that to myself. So keep going, you're doing a good thing. Anyhow, let's talk details. So microbiome healthy diet. Eat mostly whole food. That's the first principle of the diet. And that basically means that what you eat should be food, simple food, not some maltitol, allulose, carrageenan, even, carrageenan, not really human food, even though it is a plant. Not some polysaccharide, or, your food, what is on your plate, should not have those names. It should have simple names that you should be able to understand, and you should recognize the food on your plate as food, plant, animal foods. My take on that, guys, all your food should be whole foods. And once in a while, maybe, once a day, you have a snack that might not consist all entirely from whole foods. Like maybe, you're going to have some snack or a cookie, or maybe some appetizer, whatever that might be. But most of your food should be whole foods from ingredients that are also whole foods. That's kind of the idea. And when it comes to those days when you eat a lot of non-whole foods and weird ingredients, those should be very, very, very few, once in a blue moon. And the author agrees with me, because just, guys, our gut bacteria, they're very ancient, and they did not evolve eating all these weird ingredients that are coming out today and every day. It's just an experiment, and you just don't know how it's going to finish and how it's all, we have trillions of bacteria there. We don't know what each of those kind of bacteria and fungi going to do with those ingredients, and how then they're going to affect our whole gut balance. Like, we just don't know. We don't even know all the bugs in our gut, leave alone how they react to all the weird ingredients. The best knowledge we have is that some food we've been eating for thousands of years, they evolved with us. And those are the safest foods for our gut health. And that's why eat mostly whole foods. And maybe sometimes you can allow yourself to eat some weird stuff, but that shouldn't be a part of your daily diet. And you should, look into all the different sauces and condiments and ingredients and all of the foods. And especially if you eat out in a place where they use whole foods as ingredients and as a main dish. That's very important, guys. The next one, have a protein at every meal. And that means not just animal protein. They actually do not recommend a lot of animal protein in this food, and I tend to actually agree. I actually think that we need to eat enough animal protein to supply those nutrients that are either non-present or hard to come by in plant foods, like B12 or vitamin D or omega-3 fatty acids. Now, and there are some nutrients that are much harder, like zinc or vitamin A, to get from plant foods in the form that our body can absorb them. So I recommend to eat enough protein that is also rich in nutrition, like shellfish, like seafood, and that's the kind of protein they also recommend, or organ meats like liver for B vitamins, or eggs that are high in like choline and B vitamins and some A and D. I recommend to eat animal protein enough to get those nutrients, but no more than that. And right now, for example, I'm transitioning to half and half. Let me close the window. To half and half vegan and animal omnivore eating diet, meaning half of the week I'm eating vegan and focusing on beans, cruciferous vegetables, fermented foods, nuts and seeds. And half of the week I'm including shellfish, eggs, fish, organ meats, those foods that I believe really deliver life-essential nutrients in the most digestible and absorbable form. So I personally do not really eat any red meat. I don't eat any chicken. The only things I eat, shellfish, fatty fish, organ meats like liver, hearts, and whatever I can find, and eggs, and that's basically it. And again, it's like 3 days a week I eat that, and then the rest of the week it's plants, and I feel the best and I look the best, so I shine, my hair grow, my skin starts shining. People actually tell me on the street, your skin is shining. I'm like, well, cool, my skin is shining. But that's what I know shows me that I'm pretty good health when it comes to energy and health, when I shine from inside out. They even did research that mitochondria, energy producing plant of our cells, it does produce light when we have a diet and lifestyle that is energy efficient. And energy efficiency is one of the most important factors of you having good health, when you have more than enough energy that you can even shine. Anyhow, guys, so that's when it comes to protein. Eat enough to supply certain life essential nutrients, but no more than that. Have oil or fat-rich food with every meal. I basically, guys, don't really recommend myself personally with every meal specifically, but every day. Fats are essential for human life. They are essential for creating different hormones, for creating and maintaining cell membranes. And a lot of our tissues are made with fat or from fat, and hormones also. So fat is essential. And specifically, we talked about gut healthy fats, and the author of this book totally agrees with me, but specifically with coconut oil, polyphenol rich olive oil. Then he's not actually a fan of butter, for example. I'm not eating a lot of butter, and I think it's the kind of thing that we've been eating butter for quite a while as, human beings during our evolution. So I don't think it's as negative as in this book he says it is. Basically, he says, do not eat butter. That's what the book says. But I do think that coconut and olive oil and fats from avocados and nuts and seeds and fatty fish are more beneficial than butter. But yeah, fats are essential, the variety of fats. So, eat saturated, polyunsaturated, monounsaturated. You'll eat all these kinds of fats, omega-3 fatty acids. And my advice, eat them from whole foods, because whole foods work better, except for, maybe extra virgin coconut and olive oil. Those seem to work amazingly well, and we've as a culture been eating them also for quite a while. In ancient Greece and Rome, they've been eating olive oil extra virgin, that's the only kind they had for like centuries and maybe thousands of years. And then in India and Asia, they've been eating coconut oil also for like centuries, that has antibacterial, antifungal, antimicrobial effect that helps our gut to maintain certain acidity level that is beneficial for our health. So fats. What I want to say to you guys is, eat your omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish and fish oil if you can't eat fatty fish for some reason or the other, or shellfish. Eat your extra virgin olive oil, eat your coconut oil. Those are the best fats, hands down, in the book. That is also confirmed. And just in general, eat foods with fat. Don't be afraid of fat. Fat is essential. Have a resistant starch food with every meal. You can also include it with snacks, but so the guy is also a fan of resistant starch, and I'm being a fan of it for quite a while, and my health also and my energy levels seem to just get better. And when I eat beans, guys, no joke, I feel happy. Like, it's like all these 10 trillions or whatever the number is of bacteria in my gut, they're like celebrating, and I feel that. So that's how I feel. So yesterday, for example, I ate a whole can, 200 grams or 6 or 7 ounces of red kidney beans. I cooked it with my vegetables, Swiss chard, Brussels sprouts, mushrooms. What else was there? There was something else, a lot of actually vegetables, mushrooms that are also beneficial for our gut bacteria. Green peas actually also were there, with coconut oil, a lot of spices. That was such a delight, but don't mix it with animal fats when it comes to food combining, and animal protein especially. So anyhow, so I feel like my gut bugs are celebrating every time I eat resistant starch. And if you want to learn more about resistant starch and where you can find it, because beans are not the only foods, even though among the richest foods in resistant starch, check back our episode last week that was specifically about resistant starch, where you can find it. You can also watch a video of me shopping for resistant starch on Instagram. So check it out, guys. But the author also recommends eating resistant starch as much as possible as I can understand. And then let's get into the foods oh, by the way, guys, there is one food additive that he advises to use for people, especially with someone who thinks their gut health might be compromised, and that is apple cider vinegar, raw apple cider vinegar specifically, because that seems to have anti-biofilm effect. And biofilm is that thing that bacteria builds, both beneficial and non-beneficial, but specifically in this case, non-beneficial or harmful to our health bacteria. They build kind of like a house for themselves, so no medications or our immune system could not see them and could not affect them or kill them or destroy them. So they build that habitat, and then there safely they multiply and they create new biofilms, new communities, and then they create those not beneficial substances that are toxic or harmful or pro-inflammatory to our body. So those are biofilms. Good gut bacteria can create them too, and do create them too, but we do not want to destroy those, even though probably apple cider vinegar destroys both. But anyhow, guys, so if you have harmful bacteria that might have created those habitats, then apple cider vinegar helps to destroy those habitats and help our immune system or medication get rid of those harmful bacteria. So apple cider vinegar, but be careful, it's a strong acid. Drink it like a tablespoon with your water, and don't put it in your mouth for a long time because it destroys enamel of our teeth. Maybe use a straw while you consume that. So apple cider vinegar. Of course, the book, The Diet, does recommend eating a lot of vegetables, especially cruciferous vegetables, broccoli, kale, cabbage, cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, and a lot of fermented foods that we also talked about, all those probiotics. So also check back the episode about pro and prebiotics that we did last week. Anyhow, guys, what's your favorite cruciferous vegetable? Mine are broccoli and Brussels sprouts. Cauliflower, not so much, but yeah, broccoli and Brussels sprouts, I can eat them by the bucket, especially if they are roasted with garlic and olive oil. What's your favorite cruciferous vegetable? Maybe kale? A lot of people do love kale. And then fermented foods. Don't forget to eat every day your favorite fermented foods. In this book, they recommend to eat at least 3 times a week. I eat it whenever I'm eating and not fasting. So my favorite is sauerkraut. But also, don't forget that there are fermented foods like yogurt or kimchi or pickles, and maybe kombucha. There are many fermented foods in different cultures around the world, so try different ones. By the way, guys, some people say, I don't like the taste of sauerkraut. And I don't understand that, because different sauerkraut tastes differently. So try different brands. Some sauerkraut would have some berries added, some apples, at least here. Some would be more spicy or sour. So different sauerkraut have different tastes. So check, try, and see what you like most. The same with kimchi. Every kimchi, it kind of tastes differently. Depends on what you added, how long you keep it there, how much salt, how much of this and that. So all of these foods, they have quite different and distinct taste profiles. So try different ones to find your favorite. And then a couple of other foods the author recommends because of their high polyphenol content or different fibers that are proven to be really beneficial to our gut health. So the best nuts mentioned in the book, pistachios and walnuts, because of polyphenols and fibers, specific fibers, prebiotic fibers that those nuts have. Berries, especially wild berries, especially blueberries, like we talked about, wild blueberries have quite a lot of prebiotic fibers, but also those berries have a lot of polyphenols that, again, highly beneficial for our gut bacteria. Green tea, ground turmeric, or, turmeric in any form that you can find. Those high in polyphenols, high in antioxidants, proven to be beneficial for our gut bacteria and our whole body health. Then garlic, that also tends to help us to kill a lot of bad guys, and also has anti-biofilm effect, destroying those, protective shields of bad bacteria communities. So garlic, but remember how to eat garlic, guys? You crush it, you wait at least 10 minutes, and only then you can eat it or cook with it. If you want to destroy more bad guys, you want to crush it, wait for 10 minutes, and then eat it raw without cooking, or without cooking too much. How I used it yesterday, for example. I crushed it, I waited for 10 minutes, and when my food was ready, that vegetable and bean dish, I added garlic once it was ready, but still hot. I mixed it all, and that's how I consumed my garlic yesterday without cooking it, but added to my hot food. And then ginger, guys. Ginger is proven to be great for digestion and has anti-inflammatory effects, and just overall have positive effects on our body, digestive tract, and immunity, even though they don't really understand how it works exactly. And then let's get to things to limit, according to Mahmoud, what to limit to not negatively affect our gut bugs. Because guys, it's both things are important. What we feed our gut bacteria, how we take care of them, but also things that we limit that can kill them, or that can feed harmful bacteria that then can outnumber our good bacteria and create all kinds of negative health consequences for our whole body health, right? So it's important what we eliminate, what kind of toxins we put in our body, who we feed with what we eat. So that all matters too. Number one, alcohol. And the author says that no matter how you look at it, alcohol is toxin, and even if it's red wine, the amount of good stuff in there, it's not worth the alcohol and the toxic effect of it. And they, some historians even speculate that the red wine that they drank for health benefits in ancient times was actually just grape juice that, stayed outside in warm conditions for too long, so it had nothing in common with modern wine. It was more like grape juice that went bad. Anyhow, no alcohol. Added sweeteners, all these different kinds of sweeteners that are not digested but metabolized by our gut bacteria. Who said that our gut bacteria actually wants it? Just because it's not digested by our stomach, it doesn't raise our blood sugar, it doesn't mean that our gut bugs love it, especially if it makes you gassy or, produces other not pleasant gut effects. So anyhow, added sweeteners, it's, again, no matter how fancy it sounds, it's still a weird ingredient that you probably don't want to experiment with too much. If it's once in a while dessert, not a big deal. But again, I wouldn't recommend eating a lot of sweeteners, except for maybe stevia that is natural, or maybe monk fruit extract more often than others. But added, or especially artificial sweeteners of any kind, not a good idea. When it comes to things like coffee and black tea, the author says that if it's organic and drank in moderation, that can even have a positive effect. But make sure that you're not overdoing it, and definitely not adding sugars and all sorts of milks or creamers to your coffees and black teas. But you can enjoy it in moderation, as I do right now. Foods also to completely exclude, not just limit, added sugars of all kinds when it comes to gut health, mostly because, for example, artificial sweeteners, they negatively affect our good gut bacteria. But added sugars can feed a lot of bacteria and fungi that then create pro-inflammatory substances. Then they outnumber good guys. They create not a good environment for those good guys that have health positive health effect on us. So those sugars, they feed bad guys. That's why when it comes to gut microbiome, added sugars is not a good idea, and it doesn't matter whether that cane sugar or coconut sugar or corn syrup or date sugar or maple syrup or raw sugar or sugar syrup. Those are all added sugars, guys, and they are not good news for our gut bacteria. And that also goes to any refined grain products like bread or pastries or anything. Get the same sugar in a different form. Again, feeds candida, other fungi, and all sorts of microbes that we don't necessarily want a lot of in our gut. So, baked goods, gluten-free bakery, instant quick oats, all of that is not good news for our gut bacteria. And then also no things like vegetable oils, like those refined industrial oils, not anything refined, or no corn, soybean, cottonseed oil, none of that. The author even says that butter and dairy fat is not really good for you. A lot of nutritionists, myself including, would argue that it as harmful as industrial fats, but still that's what he says. Also the same goes to lard and other animal fats. Then also no processed meat, no cured meat, and again, no packaged foods with a lot of ingredients. So that's what we don't want to have in our diet. Again, alcohol, processed added sugars and grains and vegetable oils or industrial fats and alcohol, all of that we don't want to be eating. And again, weird ingredients, added sweeteners, especially artificial sweeteners, doesn't matter whether they have or don't have calories. And when it comes to good stuff for our gut bugs, again, a lot of vegetables, especially cruciferous vegetables, especially prebiotic vegetables that we talked about, and prebiotic foods. Check back episodes last week to learn more about that, or relearn or repeat. Repetition is the mother of all skills. So don't feel bad. I often re-listen or reread something when I need to brush up the knowledge to understand it more and better and make it solid in my head. Anyhow, guys, for your gut bugs, again, resistant starch, things like peas, beans, cook in the right way and combined in the right way. Vegetables and fruit, also fruit have a lot of different kinds of fibers that are also beneficial to our gut. But again, maybe don't overdo it, like I made a note to myself, because sugars can feed candida and other gut fungi and non-beneficial bacteria. So maybe not a lot of food, but more accent on vegetables, especially cruciferous and prebiotic vegetables, and resistant starch. Eat nutrition-dense animal proteins and fats like fatty fish full of omega-3s, eggs, organ meats. But also remember that there is a lot of protein in plant foods, and they also have resistant starch, a lot of them, and they also have a lot of polyphenols and antioxidants. So combine your plant and animal foods well, and focus on whole foods. Again, once in a while, if you want to experiment, to try something, eat something weird, or if it's a special occasion, but most of the time, focus on whole foods that have been with us for hundreds and thousands of years. Our bacteria in our gut is even more ancient that we human beings are, and that probably a lot of plants are. So the less new and modern crap you would put into the feed of your gut bugs, the better you're going to be, it seems, from all the evidence. So thank you guys for tuning in. Hope you solidified or learned something new about our gut health, about our gut microbiome, and how important it is to take care of our gut health. If you are interested in whole body health, mental and physical, and also especially now, it seems that people with the healthiest gut have the best chances to have less problems with COVID-19. So if you didn't have enough motivation to take care of your gut, then you have it now. So thank you guys for tuning in, for learning, for teaching and sharing that also with people around you, and also inspiring, because when you do something, you inspire change in other people, and that ultimately what changes the world. So also share this episode with one other person who's going to be equally excited to learn more about gut health, gut microbiome, to improve themselves. So share this episode with one other person. Together we learn better, we remember better, and we change the world better. Share, learn, shop, and cook gut beneficial foods, and feel better and look better and shine from inside out. And as usual, guys, thank you for listening, being your awesome self, and till next time, eat better daily.